Greetings, my awesome blue stars. Welcome back to your Not So Daily, exposing my classmates. This story is kinda goofy, but Carly bought in 2 cans of sodas for me to hold until break time so we can drink it. Micah saw me holding the can, so he kept looking at me and then the can like some eager kitten. But then Carly had an idea. She took one of the cans and shook it aggressively, then told me to give it to Micah. I gave it to Micah and said, I really think you should open it now. But Micah replied,
"This is Coca-Colastic. Thanks, but I'll drink it later."
That sadly meant that the soda wouldn't have exploded in Micah's face, and he already touched it, so I'd rather not ask for it back. Also, during biology, we had another practical. Carly and I messed up on our iodine solution test, so I said that I'll see what Max and Micah wrote because they're the top students in our class. I walked closer to Micah to see what was on his sheet. I don't know if he smelt of BO or it's his clothes or something, but he smelt so off, so I went back to my desk and said, "Heck no, he smells bad." And Carly said,
"Why are you smelling, Micah? Oh wait, you want to know how your soon-to-be man smells?"
"He just smells off when you walk past him. You walk past him if you don't believe me."
"He reeks of beer. I'll feel bad for you if you guys ever hug."
Speaking of beer, Micah bought beer to school, but it was in his water bottle instead. I only knew because I saw him letting Max and Ethan have a sip of it. During drama class, I looked to my right and saw Micah full on staring at me. As we all know, I'm a fan of eye contact, so I just stared at him until he looked away. The teacher paused video on the projector. I was twirling around with my hair, but then my ring got stuck on it, so I was fixing my hair after. Then I immediately looked up because the teacher was yelling at someone. I turned my head to see who she was yelling at, and then I see Micah staring at me. I caught him staring at me for times. I was trying not to look at him, even though I still saw him staring by the corner of my eye. Soon after, my drama group got to use a different room to practice. I was doing this act with Keith, and as soon as I was on my knees begging for my life whilst Keith was about to attack me, suddenly the fire alarm went off. So we didn't get to finish our act. Outside class, I heard Ocean and Keith tell people in the other classes how good I am at acting. I felt appreciated and a little embarrassed. Appreciated because Keith is the best actor in my class. Not an opinion, it's a fact. His performances always make people laugh and react. And embarrassed because he was talking to a bunch of people I don't talk to. Next, I'll be exposing Sophie. Basically, she first dated a boy in another school. That same boy called Al the N-word, and Sophie kept flexing about it in Paulina's class. Paulina asked her if her boyfriend is black, but Sophie ignored her. So Paulina assumed he wasn't. Also, Sophie called Paulina a pick-me for talking to ID. All she did was ask him for a pencil. Whilst Sophie changes boyfriends every week. Because of that, Paulina doesn't speak to ID. And also, ID has a girlfriend. Even though he's chopped, many people were convinced that he only has a girl because he's tall. Bro literally has a toxic appearance, toxic personality, toxic hair, toxic everything. He's just tall? But anyways, good or bad for him. For English class, we had to do speeches. And I was looking around to count who hadn't done the speeches. I caught eyes with Al and he gave me this creepy off stare, so I immediately looked away feeling creeped out. He was doing it to everyone though, so he had to leave the classroom. This boy called Chris had to perform his speech as he was the only person who hadn't yet. Chris kept stuttering on every sentence and reading words slowly. One word he said was,
Suffering.
Many kids kept mimicking him when he was done. He told his friends that he wrote it last second, so he couldn't read some of the words he wrote. Also, I couldn't tell whether his voice was naturally deep or if it was forced because it sounded so forced when he was introducing himself. Also, the last time I talked to him, which was like a year ago, I remember him showing me a love note from his guy friend at the bus stop whilst hugging it. I was on FaceTime with another of his friends, Johan, and he took a screenshot of Chris hugging his love note, which is now a sticker. About Johan, have I ever mentioned how he once dipped my head into a trash can? And you know what Carly and Caitlin did? They were cheering him on, but it was all jokes, so I didn't care at the end of the day. Back to the speeches. When Kai had to do his speech, he started yapping about a boy called Gerald. The story sounded so fake that me and Paulina began laughing. Kai said,
"There was once a boy called Gerald who once played Rainbow Six Siege. Gerald was trying to unalive the enemies, but failed and ended up unaliving his teammates. His teammates got mad and said bad stuff to Gerald, so Gerald decided to unalive himself. This is why kids shouldn't play Rainbow Six Siege."
People kept making up anecdotes because the teacher said we will get more marks. After that, Micah went up and his speech was about obesity. The teacher had to interview everyone and record them because the videos were going to be inspected and rated by professionals. The teacher asked,
"What's one way that we could convince obese people to eat healthier?"
Tell them to look in the mirror.
The teacher turned her head and covered her mouth. My jaw dropped whilst others were trying to stay quiet, because if you make a sound during someone else's speech, you get disqualified. When the teacher ended the recording, everyone began laughing hard. Micah's accent was also making me and Paulina laugh when he said that there's more than 1 billion obese people worldwide. He has a strong accent, so I couldn't tell what he was saying on some parts. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. The speech was better than the kids who didn't practice at all. And everyone could tell it's about obesity, I guess. Also, Lola is dating someone in 6th form, basically a 17-year-old. I told Carly how I saw that Lola wrote L+S on her wrist with a heart around it. Carly said,
I heard that's her boyfriend. In my English class, a boy asked her who S is. Instead of saying it was her boyfriend in year 12, Lola said that it's her boyfriend in year 10 and said some Russian name beginning with an SN. She also mentioned that S doesn't speak to her and keeps ignoring her, but she still likes him. A boy asked why not she date the boy in our year who has a crush on her, but Lola said he isn't her type.
To be honest, I'm glad that Lola's boyfriend doesn't like her back because he's almost 18 and Lola is 14. They both could get into serious trouble if something goes left. But I guess Lola could try to lie her way out of it, as I know that she's a good liar. I like her, but she does have flaws. To be fair, I'm not even surprised because she's in my drama class. I haven't heard anything else from the year 12 boy, and I haven't asked her about it because I don't want to be pulled in their situation. I give out the tea, I don't stir it. Also, I was walking with Carly and Benjamin until Mr. Cupcake ran past us to stop some year 7s from fighting. Then Carly said,
Good googly moogly. I haven't seen that giant in a while.
Yeah, the biggest bakery is back in town.
By the way, he turned 46 years old yesterday, so you could wish him a late birthday.
We were both surprised as he looks at least under 35, but we didn't care as we only knew him because of his beautiful bakery. Just the bakery, nothing else. Not so fun fact, but Mr. Cough, who used to have a very bad cough, was once in a music band and dyed his hair red back then. I only found out because it was in a history quiz before the GCSE subjects began. Also, I will try and do a mixture of exposing your classmates, and if I get the time to, I'll reopen the commission soon. Hey Blue Stars, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to smash that like button and comment your favorite part of the video. Check out some of my other videos if you haven't watched them already. Peace out, my awesome Blue Stars. Bye.